and then go live link. Good morning, everybody. So looks like we're going to have a fun morning, which I love mornings like this. These are like the best mornings for me. Give me 1 second here to set this whole thing up where we get the reviews over here and we can just start focusing on what is going on here. All right. So let's just, let me just send this to a couple places. I got to send this link out so we can get some of the stragglers in here. As always, and I know the new people that are in here are already subscribed. Please subscribe to this so I can stop having to send this to 100 different places. So the link, let's go art tape video, and then give me 1 second, and let's go live link. So this is what's going on out there, right? We're selling down, okay? And then with the selling down, we're just not sure. Good morning, everyone. We're just not sure where to go. So let's just go through a couple things on what's actually transpired this morning, okay? So we've come down to support levels on the index, and I think this is very important to remember, okay? And let's just focus on this for a moment. So this is really where you've come down to, the support level, and you're bouncing. Since 7 o'clock, you've done nothing but bounce. See this? All you're doing is going up. That's all you've done. Now you're even above, you know, the people that decide to get up at 4 in the morning and trade futures, right? You're even above those wackadoos. So, you know, looking at that, you probably have the opportunity to go back to flat. I'm not saying you stay flat. I'm not saying that you should be long-term investing here. I'm saying there's a trade here. I find it very interesting, and I don't think it's going to last, but I don't think that we're staying down. I think you're going to bounce. Now, how long that bounce lasts, we're going to have to see. I do think that it's going to be pretty telling to watch these levels. So you're going to have to watch like 352.12 and see how you do there. See if you're holding in. That's that wick line right here. So we're going to have to look at what to do here. But for me, I think that this is a glaring buying opportunity to trade the range that you're in on the long side. I'm long. The reason this video started, just to be candid, is I've been long all morning. I've been buying all morning. But I like what I see, and I'm doing it for a trade. And frankly, everything that I bought this morning, I'm up in, which usually means that that trend continues for a short period of time. Now, I would focus on that. The other thing I'm just going to get everybody to focus on, okay, this is the SPY. Okay, this is where you're at. See this wedge right here? You didn't even break it. You didn't even touch it. So far, we're off the open of the pre-market, okay? I wouldn't be surprised, and there's kind of an anomaly here. I would not be surprised to go flat at some point today. So just keep that in mind. It is a possibility. We'll have to see how that plays out, but that's how I'm looking at it. Second, and I really want to go over this, I talked about that in that top 5 for Vive video that I did the other day. And we're going to look at Ethereum here too. You're going here. I mean, we're off by a couple spots, right? So I've got this up 1.6% and Mara is hardly moving, okay? You need to focus on these names. If you could find some of these names that are actually down on the day, like Mara, HUT, SI, okay? Any of these go negative, you want to be looking at them. Now, if Bitcoin changes, you're going to want to go on the other side of them. But any of those names I'm just going through right now, you want to be looking at these on the long side, because if this bounces, it's going to continue to bounce. So that's what I have to go over. And I think it's really important to focus on the fact that if Bitcoin's going up, these Bitcoin names are going to go up. I don't think that this is where you sell. I think this is where you buy. So that's what I have to go over. I'll start going over everybody's names. TCNNF. Oh, let me go through this one as well. So look, this is setting up. Okay. This is setting up. All right. So you can see that, right? And here. Okay. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner. I have no position in this yet. FYI. I own a bunch of the other names, but I have no position in this yet. And I don't see any reason why you're not going to start trying to get to the 1480 level, why you're not going to get to the 16 level or the 1630 level. I see no reason. You might get to one of those levels today. So that's it. Way overdone, Jared. I think you bounce, and what you do from there, I don't know, but you definitely bounce. So, I'm a buyer, and I'll sell into strength, and then we'll go from there. That's how I'm trading this right now. That's how I see this playing out this morning. So far, again, everything I bought this morning, I'm up in. Is there a larger sell-off coming? There absolutely can be. And so that's why you need to be really very quick and nimble and hitting singles and getting out of the way here. So that's really what I want to go over. TC, NNF. Okay. Look, could this break out and go? I've been talking about this level for a while. Here's what you want to see if you're trading this. See this right here? Look, let me show you this. Okay. That's what you want to see. That's your level. Hold on. And let's actually go up to here because that's really where you're at. So the high of this is $30. Okay. Get over 30. Get over 30, and then you're over the first high, which leads you that you can get back to $33, $34. So that is a possibility, and it's definitely something that I would be looking at. There's no question about it. Okay. So take a look at that. In regards to, let's see. Good morning, Daniel. I wouldn't short here. I would not be shorting here. I'd be on the other side of that trade. Let me rephrase that. I am on the other side of that trade, to be candid with you. I've been buying. I'm long. I'm pretty long right now. I'm not going to lie. So I'm on the other side of that. I would not short down into this. Now, could you rally, go flat, and then put shorts on? Absolutely, Daniel. There's no question about it. If that's your game and that's what you're looking at doing, you need to rally, right? Like get the TQQs back to 125, that kind of stuff, and then look at shorting. But don't short into this. Hey, Nicholas. Coin and Mara. So Mara, I just went over. Hopefully you saw it. Look, let me just point this. Let me just be honest here. I have a position in this, or disclose. I have a position here. This gets through 37.68. I think we're getting the 45. We have institutional sponsorship. There's something to that. Coin could bounce here. Okay, let's throw this in. The issue for me with coin is that overall, I think that, look, I know people don't think much of this, but customer service numbers are a big deal. Okay, so fundamentally, I don't like this company. I actually like the fact that Robinhood seems to be getting it, right? And instead of coin, I would take a look at Hood, because right now, the fact that they came out and said, oh, we're going to have a customer service number, I think it's a big deal fundamentally that's completely overlooked. I mean, people that are in their, 40s, 30s, people like me do not want to be tweeting about my money to people and using these chats. I want a live person to explain to me what's going on. It's called accountability. So I would look at this instead. And if I flip over this level, 42.56, I'd be very interested in looking at that for a trade up to this 48 level. So I'd focus on that one instead. Netflix is on my list. Look, any weakness like this, and this name probably moves. I think it's definitely one to look at. You could look at trading it off the open for a trade and then seeing how it does. You're going to have a bunch of people that are probably going to sell because they were up here before and they keep getting burned every time it runs into like one of these trend lines. Here's your real trend line. Okay. Here's your real trend line up here. So maybe you got 10 points here, but now that you're down and you're opening down, I really think it could go. I really do. So I would definitely take a look at this. Now, in regards to, hey, good morning, my friend. Hey, Jared. So that's how I look at Netflix. Do I think it's a buy? Yeah, I think you could trade it here. Look, I'll walk you through exactly how to trade this. Okay. Like exactly how I would look at it. I would go to where you are at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Because that's when the pre-market panic sets in, where people get their first cup of coffee and retail decides to dump. Okay. Institutions are not selling at that point, right? So that tells you that you're about $1.25 off from this. So that means that you could actually take a position, right, and use that. So this is obviously an anomaly. and use that as your stop. Okay. So you're going to risk $1 for the chance to possibly make 10. I mean, I'll do that all day long. I've been doing it all morning. So I think it's going to continue. And so let's just go. Let's just keep going here. I got so much to go over. Tesla, I bought pre-market. Another disclosure. So I'm biased. I think this was just a gift, right? Like here you are. Here's your level on that first 5-minute bar, right? I mean, there's your low. This should be your stop. Okay. And then you're probably going to gap fill. I think you're going to at least gap fill. I'm not saying that you're not going to have the ability to possibly roll back over. I'm saying that the market's giving you a gift right now. Take advantage of it, right? That's kind of where I'm going with. That's what I'm saying. There's trades here. There's long-term or long trades for the short term. It's been a busy morning. I need another cup of coffee already. But I like Tesla a lot here. And, look, Daniel, we've been in this one since 7:30, 7:65. This is where I'm opening this morning. I'm not crazy about that now, but I still have a bull flag, don't I? Right on a support and resistance line. I'm okay with that. I'll take that. I'm okay with it. In this market, I'm above the 21-day moving average still. I'll take it. My stop's 765 on my long-term position. Well, on the recent position I put on. Other than that, there's no need for me to do anything here. Absolutely no need for me to do anything at all. So, just keep an eye on that. So let's see. Planter. So Planter had news, and the news is kind of mixed, right? So, and by mixed, I mean, we don't really have a full story. And by that, this is what I mean. So, Boca, what happened with this was they got a contract, but they didn't. But now people are saying they didn't get the contract. That they're up for the contract, but they don't officially have it. But that they're the only one in line for it. So I honestly, it's so confusing. The level of reporting that's coming out that I can't really look at it and tell you anything. At how factual what they're saying actually is. I think the company should issue a statement and a clarification personally on what's going on, but they have not seemed to do that. They seem to like the obscurity. I would note this morning after breaking this morning. Okay, so to me, that's a pretty clear sign that people are dumping it. And that probably continues, right? Now, here's your 7 o'clock level. And you broke below it, and then you flipped it. So you may break through this and you may go higher if the market rallies the way that I think it may rally. So just kind of keep that in mind. I don't think that trade's done. Let me just put it that way. I think that you could bounce up. But if they clarify what really happened out there, people might just get the heck out of the way and not even want to play it, right? I mean, I don't want to play it. So until I know the full story. So just watch that. If we look at this on a longer term time frame, and I know I'm doing a lot of pre and post stuff this morning, but it's important. This is your move, right? From last night. So if that news wasn't there, this is not the best stock in the world to own, right? That's what you look like without the news. So is it possible it falls back down? Yes, it is. It's possible that all these people that are waiting, that own it, own an institution, want to dump it and are using retail to dump it. Yeah, it's very possible. And it's very possible that, like Motley Fool, it's very possible that somebody actually put out an article that's not entirely accurate so that retail acted so that institutions can get out. I hate to be that cynical, but we've seen it time and time again with like Motley Fool. So, just be careful. DAVA, SIVB, LXU. So let's do DAVA. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you're breaking out here or trying to, right? I don't see any reason why this isn't going to continue. You're pulling back right to that level, which is exactly where you thought you'd pull back. So there's not really much to say or do there. I'll just leave it alone. I would just leave this alone. If I was in this, I would leave it alone. Would I buy it? You could buy it here and then hope that it continues to go and push. Yeah, absolutely. Um, that can do that. SIVB, look, you have this wedge line right here. We need to break that wedge line. Until you break that wedge line, there's really no reason to go near this. But that could definitely break, and that could definitely go higher. LXU, I mean, you broke out of here, and we talked about this one, right? As soon as you broke out of here, that was your trade. I'm not buying it up here. Anything that's this far now off these averages, here, look. Anything that's far off these averages now can come back down to the 8-day. So that's not something that I'm going to chase or I'm going to want to buy here, right? It's just not. So I would be, I'm not going to tell you that I'd be running into that right now. It's just not accurate. I wouldn't be. I'd wait and see what happens. I don't think that there's a big reason to jump into that. So. Samira, I think that Merck's going to take some time. Like, look, you're not buying a small company. You're buying an extremely large company, right? And, this is your level, 80.63. So the fact that I'm down this morning and near that level is very appealing to me, and something that I'll be looking at. I mean, I like the fact that we're at that level. So that's a level where I would be very, very interested, to say the least. So, let's see how it goes, and we'll go from there. But that's definitely, this is where you want to buy it, right? That's where you want to buy it, as close to that line as you can. Because if you go below that, you could sell it or you could wait for the close, but at least you know where your support is supposed to be. But I don't know that I'd want to own calls on it, November calls. I mean, I could trade here for months. I don't see the edge in owning calls right now is the best way I could say that. Samira, I would just own stock, or I would have sold puts so that I get the premium. I just think that there's a standard, and I think that's the standard. I've been saying it for some time that this week and the week before that, hey, I think that this is going higher. I don't talk about whether it's real, it's not real. I just look at technical charts. I don't get into the nuances, right? I don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere. I think it's very clear that it's here to stay. I also think that it's very clear that if that's going to trade like this, people are going to trade it, right? It's no different to me. Frankly, it's no different to me working than a piece of artwork. Someone thinks artwork's worth $40 million for a painting, it's worth $40 million. So if people think that the other coins are crap, then the other coins are crap. There's just the way that it is. I mean, it's just everything's perception, right? So as far as that, if this is what's going up, I don't know why you just don't buy that one and not play with the others. I get it. Everyone's trying to, hit big, but you do that with small money. You do that with a small portion of your money. Did the SOX SOXL hit a bottom? Well, let's look at the SOX first, right? So did it hit a bottom? My answer is that I don't know. I don't have anything in here that's telling me that I did hit a bottom. So the way that I would look at this, and I'd leave the RSI in, is you have a channel right there, right? Let's get rid of these. So you have a channel right here, right? And you respected that channel, but you're not over anything. You're trading just like the Qs. So, that's exactly monitoring the Qs. So this would be a spot where you could buy it and then use the low of this as a stop. But I'm not seeing signs of a bottom there, like at all. I'm just not seeing that. So I'm not going to say that you're bottoming. I'm just not, I don't see this as a bottom. I see this as you may bounce and go higher, right? You could bounce up into this, but do I think that we're going to go straight back up and you have to be buying, these names for the long term? No, I think that you can use today's weakness to buy names and trade them. Sure. I think you can do that all day long, but that's the gist of it. So I hope that's helpful, Jen. Yeah, she's 100% right. Yeah, that's a better way of saying it than my cynical view of the world. UPST, SPSC. So 304. I mean, there's your level, right? That's on the weekly. Did you see how we reacted to that yesterday? Right? Look how you reacted to that. Look where you are this morning. I'd be really cautious here. I'd be really cautious here. I'm a big trader of this, and let's get rid of all these because it's too much. So, you haven't even broken the 50 yet. So this is not one that's going to run back up. And I don't know what happens to this stock in a higher interest rate environment either. But I mean, that it's a possibility that if you get washed out, you're coming down to like 230. So, I'd be really careful here. I would actually be on the short side of this. Like any rally, I would sell. Now, you have an H that's developing, and if it doesn't break the H, it could then bounce and go higher after it builds, but it's got to start doing that. And right now it hasn't even begun to do that. So that's not something that, I'm going to say, hey, we got to rush right into here. SP, SC. I'd be on the short side of that on rallies. So let's see here and see what we got going on. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm kind of wedged in here. I would pass on this. I've got this gravestone. I'm running right into this again. This is not something I'd be chasing. And look at how much we ran. So, I mean, this should really remind you of stocks like this. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on these, but like Asan, like how you broke down, right? You run up and then you just break down. So you got to be really careful. So I would avoid that as well. It's not something I would play with right now. Should you get it out of RRR? I mean, look, here's my thought. I think the economy's opening up, right? If you can't buy both, then you can't buy both. I mean, it's just something's got to give, right? Everything has a cost, and that's how you have to look at it, And I don't know how else to say it. If you don't have the capital and you have a ton of capital in one name, I don't not like this. I mean, I think that these stocks can go a lot higher. I think you have to get through this market and digest what's truly going on right now. And until we do that, you're going to have to see how this plays out. But I think that that's not something that, I would do because you're chasing money, right? You're chasing money around. Where are we now with Mara? So now we're up, right? You're chasing money around. I mean, do I think that these names are going higher? I do. Do I think that these names in the short term are going to outperform RRR? I do. Do I think Mara outperforms RRR for the next year? No, I don't. I don't think that. So it depends on your time frame. But it's not something I would do. I mean, if I made a bet, I keep the bet, right? I keep the bet until it doesn't work or I get stopped out. Once I'm stopped out, I'm stopped out. That's it. So just thank you for dedicating. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. I like doing it. It's fun. I'm doing it anyway every morning. So, but no, I love doing it. And I got into doing it because I got sick of seeing all the junk out there that passes as real information and real education. Yeah, please hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. The more people I get subscribed, the less I have to send out these links, the more times I get to actually be in this room. Yeah, she's right. You should listen to her. I mean, she's got a really valid point there. Not showing good relative strength yesterday. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, Facebook went down, buy net. Okay, look, this went up because people were shorted. This is a really ugly pattern. Okay, this pattern where you then come here and curl like this. Okay, you usually get a one hit and then you pull back down. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I would not chase this. That moved because they decided to squeeze people and say Cloudflare is going to fix Facebook so it doesn't go under again. That's silly stuff, right? There's a trade there because of it, but I wouldn't go near that. This you just absolutely avoid. So this has changed drastically, right? When you start seeing an 821 crossing, you don't want to be long that stock. You should not be feeling warm and fuzzy about being in a position that's doing that. So here's where you're at, and that's what I'm thinking, right? That's how I would look at it. Okay. And that's really where I think you're going. I would not be chasing this, that's for sure. I definitely would not be chasing that. So just to point out something why we're doing this, I know it's only 9 o'clock, but just look at where you're at on the cues and just look at why we've been talking for the past half hour, what's happened. Okay. All you're doing is kind of grinding higher, right? Now you're at a support level. So just kind of keep that in mind to where I was saying earlier today, a half hour ago, start looking at longs. I would still do that, and I still think that you can do fairly well there. ETH was in the top 5 at 5 yesterday. I actually like doing that top 5 at 5. It's actually fun. But as I was saying, there's no way that this is not going to go. There's very little reason for me to believe that this is not going to run up and break through this level. It's really hard for me to believe that that's not going to happen. So let me show you this. Hold on. Let me show it on this. Okay. I have a really hard time believing that you're just going to reject and not break this. I'm calling BS on that move. I think that that's exactly what's going to happen. And and people are positioning themselves and downplaying it, but that's exactly what I think happens. So for what that's worth, keep that for what it's worth. I like it. Amazon Zorro, you got it. So here you are, right? I shared this earlier. You see this range here? Look at this. I mean, there's really nothing to do here, right? Until you get like a monthly close above 3,500, there is nothing to do here. And if you want to back this around, you're in no man's land right here. So you really need this to come to 3,000, and then if you want to add to it, add there. Anything under 3,000 is just a buy, right? You can see how it doesn't stay there very long. So that's what I would look at. I would not, and I'm showing you a monthly chart on purpose. So I would not be playing here. I'm in the middle of this trading range. And this is how it trades. The people that buy this, that actually move the stock, are buying it very long term, right? I mean, that's not everyone's, buying 1,000 shares of a $3,200 stock. It's just not happening. So you have to think of who the players are. They're looking a lot longer term charts. MRO, OVV, and Key offer longs. Oh. So I actually like this. MRO is tied very heavily to oil, right? Let's get rid of all these annotations. So you kind of have to think about this and think about how this is going to play itself out, right? Like, just because oil drops for the day doesn't mean that it's going to continue to drop. Usually when oil moves, it really moves, right? And we see that. And you're seeing it from here, where you're seeing this move from here to here. Now, I don't think that that's a huge move, right, from here. But what I would focus on is this 1418 level and the fact that you're just sitting right in here. So you could come down to this level, and maybe that's where I'd look at buying it. I think what's going to happen with oil today is most likely you're just going to get an inside day on a lot of these charts. I'm long some of these names. Like, I'm long this. I'm not even remotely concerned. I'll see how it opens and I'll make a decision. But overall, I think that I think we're fine here, and I think we'll be okay. So I'm not really sweating it as far as the move. But does that look great? No. But if energy sells down, then it probably means tech's going to rally. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of how they're combined right now. OVV and Key. So again, you broke out, and this is what you're doing. You could just pull back to this level, 33. I'm not buying this up here. I'm buying it when it comes down here and builds up a base again. Until then, I'm not going near it. So for those that were asking about Planter earlier, I just want to review this while we're still talking. So since we've been talking, you can see what it's doing. They're just walking it down. So, I would not be a buyer of this here. I'd wait and watch and see. And then Key. So it looks like this one's bidding down as well this morning. And that is interesting. So you have to see what the volume is and what's really going on here. But so far, the low is the open, and we've done nothing but go, and we're at a support level. So that could continue. So let's go here. Shop bouncing from support and 200 day trade. Could you go long? Yeah, you probably could. I mean, I had this morning. I mean, there were a lot of people in the trading room that we were talking this morning that bought puts. I was pretty clear. Let me rephrase that. I hope I was pretty clear to hedge your puts by buying TQQ in the open market pre-market. I think you can bounce here. Yeah, I mean that's how I'm playing the market. Yes, this could bounce here. This is a very simple trade, right? You're using this low. Okay, if you break that low, you're out. Period. There's no discussion. There's no waiting for the close. There's no nothing. But if you hold here, you could build and trade your way back up. Yes, there could be an argument for a long there, right? But you are trying to catch a falling knife. And, when it cuts you the first time, you just got to move your hand. That's the way to look at it. So, CEI. So, yeah, I mean, look, is it a scam? I have no idea. I mean, I honestly, I don't know. I traded in and out of this a lot yesterday. It was a lot of fun. All I was doing was really just buying the major like stops down, and then people would be short, and then they'd get caught. I'd use it as a trading vehicle. I'll tell you right now that this kind of break with this, like that kind of nasty long red bar, this is going nowhere. Like this is really going nowhere. So the move's done for now. The Bears are in charge. Could you bounce and trade in this? Yeah. I mean, look, for the guys that are playing these kinds of names, I would tell you to start looking at this one, right? This has way more opportunity to head back to those levels. If you're trying to play these kinds of like smaller cap names that everyone's trying to like collude on, I mean, there's really no other way to say it. That's what people are doing. But this has way more support down here in like the 8, and it's a real company. So I don't know what's going on, but if you're looking at those kinds of names, I'd focus on that one. This to me was like, maybe it was going to work. It was going up with energy. I didn't know the full story, but it was fun to trade, but I wouldn't be going long that right now at all. No. You're welcome, Jay. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I like that. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm kind of liking it. It's to the point, and I have to realize that people have real jobs, and not everyone can spend 50 minutes listening to me at night. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you're still like Laura. This is really simple, and I know we've exchanged a couple emails, but I would just let me just be really clear with you. When you're in these kinds of names, if you're down on the day in this kind of market, you should be closing all your positions that you're down in by the end of the day. Anything that I was down in yesterday got closed. So I don't have to deal with this gap down this morning. I can come in fresh and focused and put new trades on. And that's exactly what I did. That's the market that you're in right now. You're not in this long-term buy and hold unless you're looking to bury stuff for a long period of time. Even like the Bitcoin positions I have or the Bitcoin name positions I have, I'm looking at trading them. The minute they turn, I'm out. I'm not looking for long term here at all. I'm looking for trades and technicals. But if this broke like this, I don't know why you'd still be in it and you're down. So maybe think about installing a pattern like that where anything you're down on by the end of the day, you close, and maybe go through your portfolio and look if you did that, what you would do. I think that's entirely up to you, DJ. For me, I mean, I'm short-term trading right now. So like for me, I'm long, Tesla this morning, TQQ. I can't tell you what to buy. I can only tell you that I went long, and I'm looking at it from short-term trading perspective. Glad to hear it. No, that's why I'm doing it. I don't know. I don't know, because here's my thought, Jen, and here's my concern. Energy is dropping, right? Like here's the issue that I see. Energy is dropping, right? And we can go to this for a moment and get a better view of this. So I'm down 1.6%, probably because oil's coming in. Okay. And I haven't looked at oil prices this morning. So let's look at it this way. Let's go to change. Okay. Energy is the worst. Well, what does that mean? Well, this is a really weird time, because how is energy the worst and tech the worst? One of those is going to give and one of those is going to rally. Okay. It's just the environment you're in right now. The question is which one. And that's what we're trying to figure out. And that's what we have to figure out. But I don't know. I mean, will I be buying some names? Yeah, I mean, I bought Fang this morning. So I bought this one this morning. So, and it's just a thinly traded name. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I'm certainly not going to sell into like the little selling that's going on right now. It's just silly. But do I think? Yeah, I would focus on this one. This is the one we've been trading in the newsletter. So, if I can hold that level right here, yeah, I may buy this. But you have to realize that if this breaks, yeah, I could get down to 50 fast. Like you saw that quick move when we sold down yesterday. I mean, that was it. Boom. Happens in a second. So you have to be really quick here. Very quick. Let's just keep going. Randy, BBIG. Hey, Randy. So you got to just get out of the way. Get out of the way. So you could actually, argue if you wanted, and I'm not saying this, but you could actually argue that that's just an outright short to, down to here. I mean, I don't see any other way to say it. I mean, this is toast. So if you break here and you open like this, just get out of the way. So, hey, Yanis. Going flat. So going flat is like, sorry. I'm trying to change the terminology I use sometimes to make things clearer. So let me give you an example, Yanis, of going flat. So going flat is this. Okay, so that's where we closed, right? We closed right here. And this is where we're at right now, right? So I'm saying that you can get back to flat, back to break even. Think of flat as break even. Now, whether or not you stay there or not, I have no idea, but I think that you do. Look, I've been looking at these. Kratik, is that how you pronounce it? Kratik? Please let me know. I think you're in the trading room. I would refer you to the pre-market email that went out this morning, the pre-market video that went out this morning, and the newsletter. I mean, I cover all of them in there and how I would play them. I've been a buyer of them this morning, so I'm not waiting for 54. I see no reason to wait for 54. So, hey, Paul. Yep, I did. We a long time ago. Yeah, we did that a while ago. Paul, I don't know if you're in the, when I'm in here, I don't know who's in the community and who's not. But yeah, we did this a while ago, 48.50. So, my thought was that if I break this, just lock it in this kind of environment, because you could get stopped here, right? I mean, everybody sees this. You don't need me to point it out, right? So if you flip that back, it becomes resistance. That means I'm not ready. That just means that this is my cup. I might form a handle. Do I really want to be there for $50 in this market? Not really, no. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. You're welcome, Zorro. I like doing it. I never play earnings like that. You mean just like buy in front of earnings to see what's going to happen? No, I never do that. I learned my lesson a long time ago, years ago. Are there certain companies that I will hold large positions into earnings? Yes, as long as I'm up in them. If I'm up in them, sure. If not, you're just gambling. But something like this, no, I would not be buying this in the earnings. I know nothing about it. And, I learned a long time ago to not trade on fundamentals. So I'm not saying not to know the story. Yeah, I trade constantly, Bob. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. I trade constantly. I have several different accounts and I trade a lot. So I'll leave it at that. I have the ability to trade 24/7 if I really wanted to. So in different markets. So let's just leave it at that. But yes, to answer your question, I mean, this morning, to get more specific about US equities, this morning, yes, I could adjust very cleanly, emphatically, yes. I've been buying all morning. So, and I'm very happy looking at the positions and where I'm at already this morning. So Merck and Snap. Merck, I wouldn't go near until you're willing to accept this risk. That's your stop. If you're willing to accept that as your stop, I think you're golden. So until then, you can't buy it. So, yeah, I think Mara is going to break out. Yeah, I mean, I do. I think it's going to break out. I mean, I believe that. I think it's going to go. So it's why I mean, look, I've been buying it all morning. And we have a position in it, and I hope I've been pretty clear for people that they should be looking at it. I don't know how to be any clearer, frankly. So, as far as everything else, I think we're in good shape, and, we'll see what happens here. But overall, yeah, I mean, maybe you buy energy on the dip, maybe not. To me, it looks to me like some of this stuff wants to go. You might want to look at buying this, some of the Ethereum here. So that's pretty much it. All right, I have to go, everybody. I got a ton to do this morning. Sorry I started late. Have a great day, everyone. If you need me, as always, just email me. I know some people don't want to go over some of their stuff in here, and that's fine. But please subscribe to the channel, click notifications, and click like. I'm trying to get in front of as many people as possible to educate them. Thank you. Have a great morning. Everyone have massive success today. And that's it. Any more questions? Nope. That's it. All right. Time to get paid.